Good morning, fellas, and welcome back to Me Plays Games, the show that's been procedurally generating levels since the Big Bang. My name is Matt, and Super Mario Maker was an absolute banger of a game. It came out in 2015 on the Wii U, and wound up getting a sequel on the Switch. People have made brutally hard kaizo levels, precision levels, troll levels, traditional levels like the ones you'd find in regular Mario games, glitch showcases that get deleted within a week because Nintendo wants you to believe this game was coded perfectly, puzzle levels, you name it. But what if we played none of those? What if we played levels with little to no substance whatsoever? Yup, that's what we'll be looking at today. This is the world record progression for endless easy speedruns in Super Mario Maker 2. For more videos about doing stuff fast, subscribe to Me Plays Games. We also do videos about Rubik's Cube world records, and my friend Dash Martin and I have also got a video about him visiting every subway station in New York coming up soon. Alright, let's get started. The first Super Mario Maker game had a mode called the 100 Mario Challenge, where you try to beat a certain number of levels with 100 lives. The game came out with 3 difficulties: Easy, Normal, and Expert, as well as Super Expert, an extra hard mode that was added in a patch a few months after the game came out. For Easy mode, you have to beat 8 levels. For Normal and Expert, it's 16, and for Super Expert, it's 6. I could not tell you why it's so few levels for Easy, but whatever. A year later, in December 2016, Super Mario Maker was re-released on the Nintendo 3DS, with the same 100 Mario Challenge. Super Mario Maker 2 came out in 2019 and replaced that mode with the Endless Challenge. This time, the goal is to beat as many levels as you can before you run out of lives. For Easy and Normal, you start with 5 lives, Expert you get 15, and Super Expert you get 30. Despite Mario Maker 2 having an actual story mode, Endless Easy is actually the most popular speedrun category for this game, and by quite a long shot. 31 runners have submitted story mode runs, compared to over 400 for Endless Easy. In this house, we love and appreciate never-ending streams of lukewarm garbage. You might be wondering how one, well, you know, speedruns an endless game mode, and the answer is simple. You just have to complete 16 levels, 1 screen's worth on the map. Skipping levels is allowed, which can come in handy because yeah, the levels are aggressively easy, but some of them are too long. The first world record in this game was set the day after it came out, on June 29th, 2019. Switchmaster64 finished with a time of 15 minutes, 4 seconds. There's about 25 seconds of downtime between finishing a level and regaining control of Mario in the next one though, so that adds up to over 6 minutes over the course of a 16 level run. Even in easy mode, we can see some of the game's speedrun tech in action. In level 2, Switchmaster jumps repeatedly up this slope, which is significantly faster than just running up it. This is true in pretty much every Mario game with slopes, which I also talked about in my videos about the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Check those out if you'd like, link in the description. Since the levels in Endless Mode are chosen at random, runners might not beat every level optimally, which we can see in the second level as well. Switchmaster jumps into this Koopa Troopa car, not knowing if it would be necessary to beat the level. He didn't wind up needing it, but better safe than sorry. That's one thing I find kinda neat about this speedrun. A lot of the levels are pretty basic and frankly pretty terrible, but 99.9% of the time, runners are going to be playing levels that they've never seen before, so it's kinda like sight reading a piece of music for the first time. In a similar vein to the Koopa car, Switchmaster is also on the lookout for power-ups for insurance. Switchmaster lost some time on level 4 because of the Twisters, aka Blowsifs, aka Josephs, aka Blowy Joeys, a new item added to Mario Maker 2. Since the game had just come out, it took him a while to realize he should just drop the POW block into the hole, because that way the Twister could move across it and give him a boost. Other than that, the only real hitches were deaths in levels 5, 14, and 15, and having to go back to grab a cape feather in level 11.
No! Dude, we could've got sub 15! Oh my god, we were so close.
All things considered, a solid day 2 run, but runners would wind up doing a lot better than sub 15. Like, a lot better. The next day, Doubfire entered the record books with a time of 14:43. He got some relatively lengthy levels towards the beginning, as well as this little Timmy nonsense, which is pretty much the epitome of Endless Easy. But he got a string of shorter levels after that, and after 5 skips and 2 deaths, he took the record for himself. So, as you can probably tell, even though these levels are ridiculously easy and you could probably beat most of them on your first try, the speedrun isn't quite as straightforward as that. It's easy to make mistakes when you're trying to go fast, especially when you don't know the layout of any of the levels. Oh hey, it's Switchmaster again. On July 1st, still just 4 days after the game came out, Switchmaster64 set the 3rd record in this category, with a time of 12 minutes, 45 seconds.
New Super Mario B Bros. W My favorite.
Yeah, same, man. I remember playing it on long car trips on my Nintendo BDS. Awful jokes aside, that turned out to be one of the longer levels of the run, so much so that he was already behind his previous splits before the second level even started. After 3 short levels and a solid orb grab, he was back in business.
The first. My PG-13 movie. Wow, nice name.
In this house, we love and appreciate funky creative usernames. Anyway, let's take a look at level 6.
Oh my god, dude, what is this?
Sick. After some more smooth sailing, level 13 was also incredibly short. Switchmaster wound up finishing the run without any deaths or skips, the first world record to do so. Nice.
Oh my god! Dude, that's insane. I can't believe it. 12:45. No way, dude.
About a week later, Kevin's 700p took nearly a full minute off the record, finishing with a time of 11:46. Unfortunately, the video of this record is no longer available as far as I can tell, so what you're watching right now is another run of his. At this point, it's July 7th, and the game has only been out for a little over a week. In that time, the record has been broken 4 times, and over 3 minutes have already been shaved off the first record. But it would be a little while till it was broken again. The record stayed at 11:46 for nearly 2 months, but on August 30th, Sakanomi shaved off another 35 seconds with a very cool time of 11:11. This was another clean run with no deaths or skips, as well as some absurdly short levels. Levels 4, 8, and 10 all took less than 4 seconds of in-game time. A few times throughout the run, you'll notice Sakanomi pausing the game. That's because when you hit pause, a bunch of info about the level appears on screen. The most important nugget of info here is the world record, because it'll give you an idea of how long the level should take to beat. So if you get a water level, for example, you can check the world record to see if it's worth playing, or if you should skip it. All the world records Sakanomi checked were pretty short, so they went ahead and played them all out. In level 11, Sakanomi collects a big mushroom, then intentionally takes damage from the fire bar. That's because Big Mario can be pretty clunky and slow to use. Whenever you land on certain blocks, you break them and lose a bunch of speed. Since there's no clear condition, it's relatively safe to assume you don't need the power-up to beat the level. 3 weeks later, we'd get another new runner throwing his hat into the ring. On September 20th, 2019, Xerxes HD knocked nearly 20 seconds off the record, finishing a run in 10 minutes 53 seconds. In level 2, he grabs a few stars. Not only do they grant invincibility, which is irrelevant in this level with no enemies, but they also increase your top run speed, allowing him to beat the level slightly faster. Unfortunately, he died in level 4, because he didn't recognize that this was an auto level right away. Xerxes checks the world record on level 5 and decides it's not worth playing a level that takes a minute and a half to beat, so he skips it. And fortunately, it winds up paying off. The next level is much shorter, and Xerxes winds up saving about a minute. Level 7 is another auto Mario, so he checks the world record again, since auto levels can be pretty lengthy. The record was 5 seconds, since a lot of auto levels can be cheesed and beaten faster by running forwards through them, but he wound up playing it safe and beating it in 25. Level 11 is called Level 8, because of course it is. It starts with a steep upward slope, which Xerxes once again jumps up instead of running. Do not open the green door. Whoops! The second to last level starts with a clear pipe. Xerxes tries to beat the level without going inside it, which would be faster and frankly more enjoyable. And the run ends on one of the title screen levels. Whoop-dee-doo. Kevin 700p wound up taking that record back from Xerxes on the last day of the month, clocking in at 10 minutes 44 seconds. Once again, the video of this record isn't around anymore, but Xerxes was ready to take it back the very next day. The first 3 levels went fairly smoothly, although the first one was kinda long. Level 4 consisted entirely of a Bowser fight, which you're meant to beat with a star. Unfortunately, Xerxes misses the star on his first try and dies. Eventually, he gets it on the 3rd attempt and beats the level, but those mistakes cost him about 20 seconds. The next level had a clear condition, where you have to use the Builder Mario power-up to collect all 36 coins by breaking these hard blocks with your hammer. Yeah, no. The hammer is way too slow and clunky, so Xerxes skips this one. A pretty unfortunate start to this run, but plenty of time to turn his luck around. Levels 6, 7, and 8 were all short, so Xerxes was back on track. Level 9 was literally just 1 screen long, and although level 10 was a little bit longer than the last few, he was still in good shape. Unfortunately, he died again on level 13, because he didn't react to all the bonsai bills on screen in time. Going into the final level, Xerxes was about 15 seconds ahead of his PB, and 6 seconds ahead of the world record. Let's see what the final level has in store. Alright, that was a bunch of nonsense, but that works. 10 minutes 41 seconds. He just barely beaten Kevin's record set just the day before.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Yes.
And that's where the record would stay for a while. The rest of 2019 came and went, and so did the first 2 months of 2020. Hello, DGR.
What does that say? Stuck. No, not stuck.
Over the years, DGR has amassed nearly 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, and is known for a wide variety of content within the game, including troll levels.
How about that brain? How about that brain, dude?
Uno Mas showcases.
I'm wondering if we get the mushroom right after we... Oh, it worked! It worked! It worked! Hold on, let's try that again.
Uncleared levels.
I think Cyndi Lauper said it best. You know, girls just want to have fun. I just want to have fun!
And just general Mario Maker shenanigans.
Here we have a grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Fire Flower.
But he's also dabbled in endless easy speedruns, achieving a time of 11 minutes 26 seconds on March 4th. Good for 8th place on the leaderboard. 10 days later on Pi Day, he did some more runs.
Alexa, play Despacito.
Well, that's a good start.
What is this power that I have?
Well, that's a great start. Not sure that this one needed the clear condition, but sure, why not? 4 levels in, and the longest one he's played so far was just 6.5 seconds long. At this point, he's on pace for a low 8-minute run, which would absolutely shatter Xerxes' time. Unfortunately for Dave, the levels got longer after that, including a 24-second level 11 that he wound up skipping. Not only that, but it starts with a warp pipe, which takes a few seconds to enter and exit. Warp pipes take you to the subworld, which never includes the flag. That means DGR would have to reach a second warp pipe to take him back to the main world. Add that all up and you've got a level that would take about 30 seconds to complete, which is too slow for this run. The time it takes to enter doors and pipes isn't included in the in-game time, but it counts towards real time, which is used for this speedrun. Some games, like Sonic the Hedgehog and certain categories in the Super Smash Bros. Series, use in-game time to rank speedruns, but Mario Maker 2 isn't one of those games, so skipping this level was the right call, especially since the next level only took 5.5 seconds. He winds up skipping another one on level 15, since it was a Super Ball Flower level that was over a minute long. The Super Ball Flower is difficult to aim, and you can only shoot one at a time, so this level could have taken a while and killed the run. The level that replaced it took only 3 seconds, not counting a miss input on the pause menu that opened the Mario's move screen by mistake.
Let's go! Let's go!
10 minutes 32 seconds. Despite a long final level, DGR managed to beat the previous record by 9 seconds. Unfortunately, he wouldn't end up holding that record for very long, because on April 6, 2020, Crone SG got a time of 10:22. The run started off decently with 2 quick levels, but also a slightly longer one with warp pipes in between. Level 6 was also somewhat on the lengthy side, since it showcases all the stuff you can do with the Master Sword, including bomb excavation, where you have to wait for Link's bombs to blow up blocks before proceeding. That level wound up clocking in at 21 seconds, which isn't too bad, but the more long levels you get, the less room for error you have later. Unfortunately, a death in level 7 also cost some time, but levels 8, 9, and 10 were all quick, so Crone was back in business. The rest of the run went smoothly, and that's a new record. Crone only wound up holding the record for a week though, because Kevin was back for more. This run on April 15th started well, aside from a refreshing level that came up second. He's able to save time on an auto level by dodging one of the warp blocks. Kevin also takes a risk with this warp block at the beginning of level 10. Luckily for him, it paid off, since it took him directly to the goal. Level 14 was a pretty long one, but Kevin was ahead of his PB by quite a bit going into the level, so he kept it going for the last 2 levels. After a dose of dash block shenanigans, Kevin's 700p finished the run with a world record time of 10 minutes 13 seconds. And this record stood for quite a long time. He held the record for the rest of 2020 and into 2021. But on April 14th, 2021, nearly 1 year to the day of Kevin setting the record, another runner named Fonsu was on world record pace coming into the last 2 levels. Unfortunately, a death in level 15 cost him the run, and he finished with a time of 10:33, 20 seconds behind Kevin. Dying wound up adding about 35 seconds to Fonsu's time, so this would have been a record without it. Fonsu did some more runs later that same day though, hoping to get another shot at the record. One run started with 3 levels in a row that took less than 10 seconds to beat. In level 4, he goes through a clear pipe without the key he needs to finish, so he has to go back, which cost about 10 seconds. He dies once trying to beat level 5, and the second attempt takes 28 seconds, so not an ideal level for him to get. The next few levels were really short though, but he has a little bit of trouble grabbing the flag on level 10. That level wound up only taking 10 seconds though, so that didn't wind up being too big a deal. Other than that, this run went great. A lot of short levels and no skips. His final time was 10 minutes 7 seconds. When Fonsu submitted his run, he included this note: "RNG was very good, but I messed up a lot due to nerves. Also, 8 minutes should be doable with time." And yeah, with perfect luck, 8 minutes is definitely possible. Like we saw earlier, DGR was on 8-minute pace at one point in his run. Thing is, you have to get really lucky and execute everything well to get an 8-minute time, so it'll probably be a while till anybody hits that milestone. Fonsu's record stood for about 6 months, until another player named Keiichi got a record of 10:03 in October. Up in the corner of the stream, he says the average time you need on each level needs to be 13 seconds or less to get the world record. Let's see how the levels he gets stack up. 7.5 seconds. 1 second. 6.5 seconds. Even with a clear condition saying he needs to collect every coin, level 4 clocks in at 11.5 seconds. Every level so far has been faster than the 13 seconds he needs. Keiichi winds up skipping on level 5 because of the 7 layers of beat blocks. Beat blocks alternate between being solid and invisible every few seconds, and since they go 7 layers deep in this level, it would take over 30 seconds to beat. The level that replaced it wound up being 7.5 seconds long, so that was a good use of a skip. Level 6 is the longest one Keiichi has completed so far, a traditional level clocking in at 25 seconds. Luckily, that was followed up by this nonsense.
Oh, amazing.
Less than 1 second. Level 11 is an auto level he's able to cheese and beat in 10 seconds. The run finishes with a bunch more short levels, but there was one skip in there as well. If he didn't need to skip, Keiichi would have finished with a sub 10-minute time.
Yes! New record!
The sub 10 wound up having to wait for quite a long time. Keiichi held the record for the rest of 2021, and it went unbroken through January, February, March, and April 2022. But on May 19th, Fonsu was back to give it another whirl. The first 3 levels go well, but the 4th one is a little slow. There's a clear condition that says you have to beat all 4 Goombas to complete the level. So Fonsu grabs a shell to help him with that, then he has to slow down again to kill the last 3 by jumping on them. But level 5 is, well, you know. Alright, looks like we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Unfortunately, level 8 is a water level, but luckily it had a clear pipe Fonsu used to speed things up. Either way, levels 5 and 6 saved him a solid minute, thanks to how short they were, so he was in good shape. The next few levels are all in the 10-second range, so things are looking good. Fonsu is 3/4 of the way through the run and well ahead of record pace. Level 13 contained a ton of power-ups that are being pushed into a hole by a thwomp. Fonsu jumps behind the thwomp and follows it to the end of the level, because the screen freezes every time Mario changes form with a new power-up. And considering how many power-ups were on screen, this saved him a solid couple seconds. And he got some 1-ups to boot. Nice. Those aren't useful in the slightest, but hey, he ran into a little bit of trouble on level 15, where he got a level that would have taken about a minute to beat and cost him the record. So he decided to skip it and wound up getting the shorter level instead. It all comes down to the last level. "9 minutes, 47 seconds. The timer says 9:48, but timing actually stops when Mario grabs the flagpole or touches the axe on the final level, which happened 9 minutes, 47.5 seconds in. Fonsu had done it. He'd achieved the first sub 10 time in Endless Easy. In the description of his run, Fonsu says, "First sub 10 time. I had to skip one level, and with some minor mistakes, I probably lost over 30 seconds. And that's where the record stands today. A lot of speedruns rely on memorization and executing the same tech every time, but I think it's pretty refreshing to look at runs like these, where you're relying more on your ability to think on your feet and sight read levels on the fly. Will anybody get an 8-minute time? Yeah, probably eventually, but it would take them a while to get the RNG they need. I think I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't talk about one of the worst runs of all time before we go though. Normally that wouldn't be a very nice thing to do, but this run comes to us courtesy of this guy, DougDoug. He's a YouTuber and streamer known for doing challenges where he controls games with his voice.
So you're suggesting we name it left and right?
Right.
Why did right? Oh shit, right is left. God damn it.
Artificial intelligence.
Is he smart enough to learn how to get out of this? Given the fact that he pretty much only knows how to move right, I don't think we're getting out of this one.
Or Twitch chat.
You got this. You don't got this.
As well as explaining gaming topics with food.
And then one day, Fortnite says, hey everybody, today we're gonna change up our menu a little bit. And everyone goes, oh cool, well I'd love to see the new menu. And Fortnite goes, well first, I'm gonna blow up my fucking restaurant!
Also Skyrim, but 10 wheels of cheese spawn every second.
Oh Jesus Christ.
This is important. Anyway, one day, DougDoug did a stream where he let his chat control Mario Maker 2, with the goal of beating an endless easy speedrun. The goal was to beat the last place run at the time, which sat at 25 minutes, 17 seconds.
No, we're skipping. Fuck that, never mind, all right. Oh no, they found our one weakness, which is a small cavern. Why does every level have a little overhang? Get the mushroom, chat. Oh, I wanna skip. I don't like that.
Yeah, they didn't beat last place. Not even close. The chat wound up beating 16 levels in 39 minutes, 15 seconds. You'd think that's the end of the story, but DougDoug decided to submit the run to speedrun.com, since nothing he did was actually against the rules of the speedrun. Nobody thought to ban the use of Twitch chat, and I mean, fair. That's like borderline objectively a disadvantage. Later that day, on November 13th, 2021, Twitch Plays Mario Maker 2 wound up being validated and added to the speedrun.com leaderboard in last place. Today, the run sits at 443rd place, second to last. Welp, that'll do it for this video. It's been a while since I've done a speedrunning video, so it's nice to get back in the swing of things. Stay tuned to Me Plays Games because my friend and fellow member of the channel, Dash Martin, is going for a world record of his own, the fastest time to visit every subway station in New York City. If that interests you, check out our world record progression of the previous records, and stay tuned for our documentary about the upcoming attempt. I'll see you all then. Good night, fellas. Sleep well.